Hi, I'm Jessica Castle, Natural Health Solutions, and today I'm going to talk about bone broth. I am making bone broth, homemade bone broth, and so this is a cooking video on how to make bone broth. And I'm just going to mention why bone broth is so amazing. Bone broth is very, very healing. It's excellent for digestion. It's something that I eat every single day. And I make broth and then I use the broth for a base for soups, stews. I braise different meats in the broth, or I just drink it hot with salt, and it's very high in anti-inflammatory amino acids, which balance out the inflammatory amino acids that we get through eating the muscle meat of an animal. So having broth with meat is ideal, but if you have it at least every day, then that's good. Bone broth also has minerals: calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, silicon, sulfur, and other trace minerals. Broth contains broken down material from cartilage and tendons, stuff like chondroitin and glucosamine. So those are just a few of the things of why broth is so amazing, in addition to just being tasting amazing and being a great comfort food. Okay, thanks. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is roast these bones. This is a knuckle bone and 3 marrow bones, and this is only over about 2.5 pounds because the butcher was actually out of bones. So I'm going to, I usually like to get about 3 to 4 pounds. I'm going to roast these bones at 350 for about 15 to 30 minutes whenever they get brown. And then I'm going to put them in a pot and simmer them for several hours. These bones are actually from a butcher who everything is local, grass-fed, pasture-fed, pasture-raised, humanely treated, and all of that good stuff. So these are actually ready to go in the oven now. So here they go. Say bye. All right, and there they are, and they will stay there until brown. Okay, so the next step is simmering the bones, and I will add in carrots and onions, and so I'll just throw these right into the simmering bones. The last thing that I'm going to do is actually put some vinegar into the pot, because the vinegar will help draw the minerals out of the bones so that you get the benefit of calcium and all the other minerals that are in the bones. So the Weston A. Price site says to add about a half a cup to about 4 pounds of bones, but I don't really measure stuff, so I'm just gonna dump some in, and I don't really know how much it is, but that's why I like cooking, because it tastes different every time and it's always going to be really good. So I'm going to simmer this for about 4 to 5 hours, and then we'll move on to the next step. So here we have this simmering bone. I use filtered water, and so I'm bringing it to a boil right now. And as you can see, I also added in onions, carrots. So there's the knuckle bone, and then we've got the marrow bones in there too. The broth finished simmering after about 4 hours, and then I stuck it in the fridge overnight, and you can see all the fat has hardened on the top. So basically what I'm going to do is remove the top layer of fat, and so I'm just going to, you can see I'm just pulling it up with a spoon. And so you just kind of take it and you can throw it away, or you can actually use it to cook with. So I'm going to just finish removing this fat, and I will be back in a moment. Okay, so all the top layer of fat is removed, and now I'm going to strain the broth. So basically, I'm just going to take it and I'm going to pour it in there through this strainer. Ideally, I'd have some cheesecloth, but I am out and I don't have time to go to the store, so I'm just going to strain it through the strainer, and then we'll see what happens. I'm just going to pour this into the strainer. And you can actually see that there's a lot of gelatin on the bottom of this pot, so I'm actually going to heat this up just a little bit to liquefy it, and then I can strain it. Okay, so now I'm going to take this out. There's going to be quite a bit of liquid still coming out, so I'm actually going to place this under a plate. So I'm just going to let it sit there for a while, and then I'll add it to the strained broth. This has now liquefied, so I'm going to go ahead and just pour it right in here, and it'll strain onto the plate. Okay, so there it is. This is the finished product. This is the broth, and so I'm going to be using this for a base for soups, stews, braising meat, things like that, or I'm just going to drink it plain with some salt. It's delicious, super healing, super powerful, beautiful, beautiful food. So that's it for my bone broth cooking video. Hopefully it looks pretty simple to do, because it really is. Hopefully this will help you make your own bone broth so that you can enjoy all of the amazing health benefits.